Hello, I'm EG and this is Crocheting with EG. And in this video I have a small yarn haul from Hobby Lobby. I actually missed out on some. It doesn't matter. But I do have a small yarn haul from Hobby Lobby. Like the yarn haul from Ollie's is a lot bigger than that. So I do have a yarn haul from Ollie's. And then I have a couple like random thrifty things or whatever if you're interested in all that. One of my variegated videos. But anyway, so let me just start with the yarn and then I'll get to, I'll go off on tangents about all the other stuff. But anyway, so I went to Hobby Lobby and it was one of those the shipment days or whatever. And so I went in there and they actually had a cart of really nice yarn too. Like it was kind of devastating that I didn't get some of that yarn. Not devastating, like it was devastating. No, it was just, I'm just a ridiculous person. But it was a really nice cart full of yarn. And it has like a lot of variegated colors. And I had said in one of my previous videos that I noticed that on the shelf, like where the yarn was, not in carts or anything, or the remnants, but like on the actual shelf, there was a skein of the red metallic with the strand of the silver metallic strand in it. There was a skein that looked so messed up and it kept just sitting on their shelf, where the regular yarn was. And I thought, I know that skein is going to be clearanced one day. And then that was in that cart and I missed out on it. It pissed me off. No, but anyway, so I went in there and I saw that cart and I actually got a really nice shot of it. So you can see like why it kind of sucks that I missed out on that. Hopefully whoever got it, enjoyed getting a haul. Somebody beat me to a haul around here. They probably thought, thank God, I keep hearing that Hobby Lobby has clearance yarn or whatever, and I never find it here. They finally got some in. They didn't realize it. They had been getting it in for weeks and weeks, and I got a whole bunch of it. But anyway, so somebody around here scored a lot of really nice yarn. You can tell in that cart. But anyway, so I went in like 3 or 4 times to like hoping that they would discount it. It was one of those times where that they had the cart and then they put it where that 38 skein cart was or whatever. And then like I said, I stay up all night. I'm a night owl, and that's why I do all my work and stuff and design stuff and write and all that. I stay up all night and then I sleep all day. So as much as I would have loved to like get up at 7 o'clock in the morning to get ready to go to Hobby Lobby when they open it at 8 or 9 o'clock or whenever the hell it is, that's just not going to happen. I mean, as much as I love yarn, I'm not going to get up at that early in the morning just to go look for yarn, because I'm a night owl. I stay up all night and then I sleep during the day. So when they have carts like that and then they stick it there to do in the next morning, I'm probably going to miss out on some of that yarn because it's going to sit there for the hours until it takes for me to drag my ass out of bed. And it's going to be as busy as Hobby Lobby as all those people in there all the time. Of course, somebody else is going to go in there during the day when I'm passed out and sleep or whatever. And so and they're going to come across it and they're going to get some of it, if not all of it. And so that really sucks. So like those days when I go in there on the shipment day and I see a cart and they're still like working around, I go in like more that night than I usually go in throughout the whole week, because I'm thinking I want to hopefully if they because there was that one day when I went in there and they had discounted it and put it in there like at I think it was 7:30 at night, like right before they closed. And I'd gone in there like 2 or 3 times, and I thought I'll go in there one more time right before they closed. And they had just discounted it and put it on the shelves before they left. And so it was there that late. So like on those days, on the shipment days, and I see a cart full of yarn, I'll go in there like 3 or 4 times, hoping that they'll have discounted it that night so that I can get it, because I know that if they discount it in the morning, I'm probably going to miss out on some of it. And so, but I went in there and those few times in the night, and they didn't have the yarn clearanced or whatever. And so I knew that I was going to miss out on some of it. So I went in, when I dragged my ass out of bed and woke up the next morning or next afternoon, I went in there and I walked in and I looked in the remnants, and there was only like a couple skeins, and it was knowing how pretty some of those skeins were. It was just like so. I hated it so much, and so I literally dropped to my knees and went, no, I didn't really do that. I'm joking. I'm exaggerating. Like I wish I could have. Like inside, that's what I was doing. No, it's not that big of a deal because I have so much yarn. But like I'm just exaggerating because all of this is fun as hell and everything. I just hate that I missed out on some of those variegated yarns, especially that red one with the metallic in it, because I knew I've known for weeks that was going to get clearanced eventually, and then to know that it was, and then somebody else got it, just kind of sucks. But at least I got some yarn. I can't get it all, but whatever. It still sucks when I miss out on it. But at the same time, it's just like it's it's stupid like that I have this attitude like, well, it's just yarn or whatever, because like I mean, for me to like waste the gas going over there so many times during the week or whatever, or like however many times it was that evening, I mean, it seemed ridiculous that I would have if I missed out on it, and that I feel like was not really that big of a deal, but I mean, it kind of isn't. I mean, it's all so fun just to hunt for it, and also feeling like I know that it's going to be discounted, and like the fun of like feeling like you know something, like a little like insider information, and like I look at that cart, you know, and people probably pass it and think, oh, did they just have some yarn in a cart? But I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, I know that that's going to be discounted, and like, so you feel like you know something, and you want to time it right so you can get it, and so sometimes I can't get it because I have to sleep, but whatever. But I did get some of it, and so I went in there and they had 4 skeins. And none of the, like, all the good ones were gone. All those, you know, really pretty variegated ones that sucked. But I probably have one of each one on this freaking wall somewhere, or that wall, or the, you know what I'm saying. But so it wasn't that big of a deal. But you know what I'm saying. So I did get 4, and then randomly, like I went in there like a couple days later, and this skein that I got, there was just like a random skein in the remnants. There was, if it wasn't this one, there was one exactly like it in that cart. Because I looked at it and I thought, like, because I've talked about it's one of those soft secrets, and I said that in one of my videos that they do have some that are really pretty that are variegated, but I've never gotten any in the clearance, or like the whatever this is. I haven't gotten, you know, clearance at Hobby Lobby, except I did get that one that was like the pastels. But like I've mentioned that there are some variegated ones in that soft secret that I've never gotten before, and so I saw that in that cart, and I thought, oh man, they finally discounted one of those, and I feel like I'm not going to get it, and then of course I didn't. But then a couple of days later, or like I went in there and I found these 4 skeins, and of course that one was gone too. But then I went in a couple of days later, and they had one of them in the remnants randomly, and so I don't know how that ended up there. I thought somebody had bought it, unless they, you know, had a straggler in the back, or somebody like picked it up when they got all that yarn, and maybe they got so excited like I get, and one of them like rolled underneath a shelf somewhere, and some employee found it or something. I thought, oh, somebody got so excited it rolled underneath this shelf, I better just put it on the remnants. Maybe they got so excited they accidentally left one, and so I ended up getting one of those anyway. So I don't know, but I got 4 skeins plus that one, and so I got, it's the Yarn Bee True Colors, one of these, like sort of like that soft secret, except it's really like that thick kind, and the colorway is pumpkin, not pumpkin spice, but it's pumpkin, and I love this yarn. There's some yellows and golds and oranges, and I got another orange. I want to do something really, all these colors together will be so pretty with something, and I have enough of this now that where I can make something really significant, and it's really gorgeous. It's shiny without being like where it's gonna split or be like it's really tightly wound for being so shiny. Like even the soft secret, I did I should have showed that. It's way over there. I'd have to crawl my big ass onto this table just to get it. I did start, because I wanted to see, because I have so much of that soft secret, I wanted to see how hard it would be to crochet with it. I crocheted just like a little swatch and left it attached to the skein over there. It's just like a little tiny thing, but it was pretty easy to work with. Of course, it's more splitty than like a regular medium 4 or whatever, like a regular acrylic, but it's really nice, and I can crochet with it. But this, it seems more tightly wound than even the soft secret, so this is going to be really nice to work with. And then speaking of the soft secret, it's the Yarn Bee Soft Secret. Oh, this was did I even say that? $1.24 for that. And the Yarn Bee Soft Secret, this one was $1.37. This was butter, and so I think I have the colorway. I mean, no, it's not literally butter. No, I think I have 3, or now I have 3 of the butter. And I have a biscuit too in one of my other hauls that I haven't put away yet. So I'm going to make like a butter biscuit shawl or scarf or something. But so this one's called butter. It's just like a really pretty butter yellow. And this one is one of those where it was $5.49, and because like all the other soft secrets that I had gotten were regular $4.99 and reduced to $1.24. This is one of those $5.49 that reduced to $1.37. So it's like one of the little price. The price here, the $5.49, that's just pricey. I don't know, it's just a cheap person, but $1.37 for that. And then these are Baby Bee Sweet Delight Chunky, and the color. I can't even say because it makes me laugh. The color plum pudding. If you saw one of my other videos, I'm from the South, and so like when I see plum pudding, I've heard people say plum pudding, and it's very hard. I never say it that way, but it's very hard for me not to, because of, like, you know, the people I'm around. It would be very easy for me to you know lapse into my lapse into my southern accent and say plum pudding instead of pudding, but whatever. And so it's just like this the plum purple, a little prettier than some of the other plum colored plum purples that I've seen in yarns. It's a really pretty, almost like a lavender purple. It's really a nice purple color. Regular price $5.49. I got it for $1.37. And then I love this chunky. God damn it! And the color is Still Waters, and this was $1.24. Really pretty mix of grays and almost like hints of like bluish gray and a little bit of greenish gray in it. Like from far away, it almost looks like it's just sort of a grayish colorway, but there are like some almost like icy pastel blues and greens in here. It's a really pretty mix of colors, and so that one's called Still Waters. So those were the 4 that I got the next day. And then the other skein is random skein. I mean, I thought somebody had bought this. It's the R&B Soft Secret, and it's one of the variegated ones. And the color is called Cinnamon Cedar. And this is $1.24. See what I'm saying? They do have some gorgeous. They don't have a whole lot of them, but they do have some of the variegated colors in the R&B Soft Secret. There's one that has like a blue mix. It's really cool. It's like a dark blue with some light blue in it. They have some really pretty variegated colors. This one, it almost looks like something that you would see. Like it's a wonder this didn't stay on the shelf. It looks like fall colors, like greens and some golds and kind of like a purpley red and a little bit of blue in it. It kind of reminds you of something that would go well on something fall related, and kind of like earth tones and stuff. It's really nice. And so because I only have one of these, and I'm not going to buy one full price or even 30% off probably, because I'm so cheap. I'm so used to the clearance prices. Even the 30% off price is too much. No, I'm exaggerating. But because I only have one of these, if I make something with using this, I'll have to use this for like the trim or accents or something, because there's not going to be enough of this for you know, even like a whole row, probably, or I mean a couple rows. If I make like a blanket or a shawl or something, I guess I would use this for like the edge of it or something, or I don't know. This is going to be like probably what variegated yarns are supposed to be used for, is like accents. So I have plenty of solids, and so there's like some the colors that match this, like the greens and the oranges and even like the yellows, or have that butter, and unless I make a butter biscuit scarf. There are some yarns over there that I could make something significant out of it, and that this would match, and I could use this as the edge of it. But I don't really know what I'm going to make with it yet. But I did find that, and that was a surprise that I found that. So anyway, so that's like the Hobby Lobby haul. Small for me, but you know, at least I got some yarn from there, even though I didn't get all of it. Now the Ollie's yarn. Who was it? Sunflowers 2838. Shout out. Said that their Ollie's had a lot of that Red Heart Flower Power yarn, the Granny Square yarn, and so I wanted to go. Of course, I've said it in some of my videos that I'm really into Granny Squares. I've made a couple, but I've even said that, like, I know that most people, including myself, that the reason why we say, "Oh, I don't like Granny Squares," is usually the colors that people pick, and I've said in previous videos that that Granny Square yarn, the reason why a lot of it is the reason why this probably ended up at Ollie's in the first place, is some of it because of the color mixture. They can look a little like ugly. I don't mean that in some negative way. A lot of people like those combination of colors and stuff, but like to me, I think a lot of those skeins look a little like the colors don't really match each other and stuff. But since there's supposedly new yarn at Ollie's, I did want to go to check to see if, because like the last yarn that I got in there was that loop yarn to, you know, decorate my niece's tower or whatever with, and they still have some of that left. And they do have some of that. I think it's from Red Heart or something. Those ones that they look like those rings or whatever. They've had that for months and months and months, and nobody's buying that. But and then they have the loop yarn. So they do have that, but I wanted to see if they got any more yarn in, and if they got the Granny Square yarn in. And so I went in there, and they did have a whole bunch of that Granny Square yarn. I didn't get all of it. Oh, and if this seems familiar, I already filmed a short, and I've already posted it. But by the time this video comes out, it's going to be like, you know, a month or two later. But I wanted to post a short about this yarn so that it's weird. I still don't understand the algorithm. The short actually did really well, and I got a whole bunch of subscribers just from talking about this random yarn. Whatever. It was just so random. I'll put so much effort in a video, and it gets like, 120 views, and then I'll do this, and it'll get like 500 or 600, and then I'll gain all kinds of subscribers and stuff. It's just weird. But whatever. And so I've already talked about this yarn, but I haven't talked about it in detail. But I did post that in a short. What was it, like a month or two ago? I don't know. But so I did want to go in there and just to see if they had some, and some of them were just unattractive to me just because of like the color combination. So I didn't get every single one of them, but they did have a lot of it, and there's a reason why. Because I mean, I've seen so many people struggle with this granny square yarn because it seems like if you don't get your tension right, or you have a hook and it's not like, sometimes they have to change hook sizes, or they have to keep pulling rows out and redoing them, because if you don't get your tension right, the color, because it's supposed, the appeal of this granny square yarn is supposed to be where you can sit down and you can follow the pattern and make a granny square without having to weave in a bunch of ends and change colors and all that kind of stuff. It's supposed to be like, once you get to the end of a row, then it automatically changes color, and you can just keep going, and you can make granny squares. And I've seen people successfully make them from this. They get the tension right, and then they finally get it or whatever, and they can make a whole bunch of granny squares. But I've seen so many other people, like a lot more other people, struggle with it and have to, they get to the end of a row, and there's like this much of the color that they just finished left that they didn't use, and so then they have to like pull it out and redo it, and then they get to it, and then there's like this much left to do of a row, but then it's already changing color that's supposed to be on the next row, and like you have to like get your tension down perfectly, otherwise it's not going to turn out right. And it just, I've seen so many people struggle with this, and so that's why I never really got it, other than the fact that a lot of the colorways just aren't attractive to me. I think they're a little bit ugly, and I've said that in a video. But when I saw these, this is just kind of stupid that I sort of got these because I feel like it's sort of like a replacement for the Karen Smash Cakes. This is not like the Karen Smash Cakes. Like, even as I'm filming this, my Michaels, yeah, they did get the big twist and all that kind of stuff, but they didn't get any of the variegated colors in, and they haven't redone, they haven't renovated, they haven't put up signs or anything. And as I'm filming this, this is in the middle of November, and they still haven't done like the whole renovation in my store. I just feel like they're not going to do it. But they never got any of the variegated big twist, and they haven't gotten any of the Karen Smash Cakes or whatever. And I just feel like that if they haven't even gotten in variegated big twist, or even put up signs, saying like Michael's, Joanne, or like all that stuff that they were supposed to do, then I just feel like that I'm never going to see the Karen Smash Cakes. But like what I thought was appealing about those Karen Smash Cakes was all the vibrant colors, and then it has the black mixed in. And like I've said, I love the look of vibrant colors mixed with the black, because when you add black into it, even if you like manually do it yourself, like when you mix a couple strands together, adding in the black just makes the vibrant colors stand out even more, and I love that. And so that's what I found really appealing about the look of those Smash Cakes. I wanted to see them in person just to like feel how they felt and stuff. I mean, yeah, my Michaels might have went ahead and gotten the Smash Cakes in, and I could have like felt them and thought, well, I don't really like how they feel, or it seems like a little splitty, or I might have anticipated them getting them in, and then they finally get them in, and I didn't like them or something. But I still wanted to see them in the store. I wanted to see what they look like in person, to be able to feel them and stuff, because they look really pretty, all the pictures that I've seen of them. But I just feel like they're not going to get them in. So anyway, so when I saw these, like I've seen so many of those granny square yarns that just don't look very good to me. And so, but I was kind of curious to see if my store would get any. I was gonna. The reason why I went to Ollie's is I didn't go there intending to buy any. Honestly, I just went there because I thought I have a phone now, like one of those flip phones with it, crappy camera. But I thought I can go to Ollie's, and if they have some, I can like film it for a little video. And so I've done that several times, like filming stuff in stores that I had no intention of buying or whatever. But then when I went there, I did see some that were a little just not appealing to me, that I didn't want to get. But there were these that had black mixed in it, and I thought these kind of, I don't know, they just sort of remind me of like what was of course these don't look exactly like those Smash Cakes, but I'm saying, and they probably won't work up the same way either, and I don't even know if they're the same weight. But what I liked about these is the same thing I liked about those Smash Cakes. So I went ahead and bought some of these. And I didn't buy these to make granny squares. There's no way I would put myself through that, trying to struggle to make granny squares out of this yarn, because I've seen so many people struggle with it, and it doesn't look fun at all. But I thought I'll get this, and I'll just treat it as a normal colorway. Like as a normal colorway, this is really pretty. So hopefully it'll work up in rows a lot better, and it won't look, you know, all weird and jagged or whatever, but hopefully it'll look really nice. But I did get a bunch of these granny square yarns, and they do have, I don't think I got any of the flower power, but they do have just like the regular granny square yarn, and then the flower power. But I think all of these are just the regular granny squares. I didn't like those flower power ones. There was one that it almost just looked like, I know that there were different shades of the yellow in it, but it almost looked like just one solid color with like a couple of shades of the yellow, and then there was like just these like hot pink or like these, you know, it's like magenta pink, like here and here and here. I know it's because you're supposed to work it up in like a granny square or like one of those flowers and stuff, but it just didn't look very good to me. But these look like variegated enough where you could use these as just like a variegated skein, and so it'll be a nice mix of colors, hopefully. But anyway, so I'll show these, and so it's all the Red Heart granny square yarn. The regular price for these, it says, is $9.95 or $9.99, and then the price that they had in Ollie's was $4.99. In full disclosure, as I was going to the line at Ollie's, I thought, I know I got a freaking coupon. You know, me, deal finder, you know, it was cheap as hell or whatever, and I was using coupons and vouchers and all that stuff. I know I had an Ollie's coupon at home, and but I went ahead and bought this anyway. So I mean, yeah, it was $5 a skein, but still, I could have gotten it even less. The whole trip, I think I spent like $80-some, and of course I got other things. I'll show some other things. It wasn't just on yarn. I didn't spend $80 on yarn, but whatever. But I did buy some other things. But I knew I had a coupon. But it was a 10% off coupon. When I got home, I put it in my little purse, my little bag or my crossbody bag, to make sure I kept that with me. Not that I'm going to go into Ollie's anytime soon, but by the time I go in there, it's probably going to be expired. But I had a 10% off coupon, so I would have saved like $8. So it's, or of course to me that's like, oh, that's 6 skeins of yarn from Hobby Lobby. No, so it is a lot in my head, but whatever, just because I know the clearance prices. But so I had a coupon, I didn't even use it, so that sucks. But and then when I was looking at the prices, I know you just want me to get to the yarn. I've just been like rambling this whole video, but I was in there and my mom went in there with me, and so I was talking about, I don't even know if because I didn't intend to buy any yarn. I knew that they were the granny square yarns, and I thought they're probably going to be, you know, a little ugly, and I was just going to film it for a video and all that kind of stuff. And then I saw these, and I thought these are kind of cool with like the black mixed in, and I can just use them as a regular colorway. I don't need to use them for granny squares. And so, but then I thought like $5 for a skein, and then my mom started laughing, and she said, "Well, you're just used to like the clearance prices at Hobby Lobby, but like, what brand she used when she was making all the blankets, you know, a long time ago? She used nothing but Red Heart, and she said that's actually a really good price for those skeins of yarn, and you're just used to all the clearance prices from Hobby Lobby." And so I felt a little better about, you know, spending the money on these skeins, because I mean $5 is good for it's not as small as like the smallest skein of Red Heart, but that's not a bad thing to say, because there's like a really small one at Dollar Tree that's really cute, but like the regular skeins of Red Heart yarn, I know these aren't as small as those, like the regular skeins, but they're not as big as those big ones like that. I have the polo stripe and the favorite stripe, so I think it's like 8 point some ounces. Yeah, 8.8 ounces. So it's a nice significant skein of yarn. But $5, I just felt like, you know, that's 4 skeins of clearance yarn at Hobby Lobby in my head. So and I'm going to spend all that on one skein, and but whatever. A granny square yarn of all things, but it is really pretty. So I did get a bunch of these, because my mom made me realize just how cheap I was getting. But whatever, because it is a really good price. So this one, they're all the Red Heart granny square, or all in one granny square, or whatever. Or it looks like Red Heart granny all in one square. I don't know how you're supposed to say it, but I didn't get any of the flower power, so I can't show that. But this colorway is called Black Blue Beacon, and it has the black in it, and it has different shades of blue, like a dark blue and a lighter blue. And it's a really gorgeous colorway, and I'm assuming this white is to show like the end of it. I hope that there's not any, I don't see any on the outside. I hope there's no white in between every granny square, because that would kind of suck. Hopefully it would, because I'm going to use this as a regular colorway. Hopefully there's not a big streak of white in it anywhere, but whatever, like in between them. But I don't see it on the outside. If there was, I would have seen it on the outside. But anyway, so I got that one, and then this one is called Black Totally Teal. I guess all of them start with black, and then they say totally teal. It's not totally teal. I know what teal looks like. There's a pretty teal color in this. I guess this is their teal. They have a prettier teal in their polo stripe, but it has like that sort of a teal green, and then some purple, and then a dark blue mixed in with the black, and so that's a pretty colorway too. And then this one is called Black Amber Moss. And so it has like I guess amber, because it kind of reminds you of that amber, you know, like when tree sap turns into that amber and has like a bug stuck in it. You know, that kind of like goldish yellow color. And then it has like a sort of an ivory yellow in there. And then like an olive green. And I don't know why, this sort of reminded me, I mean, it's not really orange, that kind of golden color. But this sort of reminded me of something that could kind of be like Halloween in a way, like something you could wear that uses earth tones and fall colors, but around Halloween, that, you know, doesn't have to be like blatantly like, you know, bright orange, or like, you know, a big piece of candy corn like the bag that I made, or like the colors are Halloween enough where you could wear it around Halloween without, you know, having to wear like a big witch on your shirt, you know what I'm saying, or like, you know, a big piece of candy corn. So that's what it sort of reminded me of. But it is more of like, you know, earth tones and all that. But it's a really gorgeous color. And then this one is black, you know, with a dash, and then hyper violet, because it has like a sort of a magenta pink, and then almost like a darker, like a wine pink there, and then some blue, and then some kind of lavender purple mixed in it. It's a really pretty colorway too. See, like, yeah, if you use this yarn to make granny squares, it could be kind of frustrating. But like can't you see like the appeal of this yarn? Like if you don't think of it as a granny square, I mean, and why I sort of thought of this as kind of a replacement in my head for that the Karen Smash Cakes, because it kind of reminds you of that, these really pretty colors that, you know, blend well and mix together well and complement each other with some black mixed in it. So that's why I got these yarns, even though they were $5. No, it's a good price, I guess. And then this one, this is my favorite one, and this is called Black Ruby Red, and I love this. It's like all these different shades of red, and the lighter red is more like an orangey red, but it's gorgeous. I love this. I love ruby red anyway, just because of my obsession with the ruby slippers when I was growing up, you know, and Wizard of Oz and stuff. But I love this, and I love the red and the black mixed together. It sort of reminds me, like, there's a gorgeous colorway of the big twist that I got from Joanne. That is it's like different shades of red. It doesn't have any black in it, but I forget what it's called. This one is called Cherry Mix. I gotten this from Joanne. Like, this is the kind of yarn that I was hoping to see in my Michaels. You know, other than the Smash Cakes, I want to see like some of this variegated big twist in my Michaels. But all they have is like a very small selection of the solids, a very small selection of the twinkle, and then like a bunch of those big 1 pound skeins. But they don't have any of this in mine, and that kind of sucks, because this is really pretty. I love variegated colors like this, and I love the look of I've used, I think it was the blue I mixed with some black. I've used their variegated colors in the big twist like this, mixed with black, and it's gorgeous. I use the Perplexed too, with mixes some black into it, and so that's why I got that. That's why this kind of yarn appeals to me. I love when yarn colors like this, you know, mixtures of colors like this, variegated colors, mix in some black. I love that look. And so outside of this being granny square yarn, and I know it's frustrating for people that make granny squares, as colorways, these are really gorgeous, and I did get some. And then the other two I got, these are just the regular granny square yarns too. This one is called Soft White Amethyst, and so it has white in it, but then it has like these different shades of purple, and really pretty teal blue in here too. But this mix of colors right here, and then this one right here is the colorway Soft White color Watermelon. Like, this does remind you of like the colors of watermelon, but what these kind of remind me of are the colors that were in the Premier Bloom Chunky Big that I used to make my mom's bed jacket with, and so these colors kind of remind me of that, and my mom loves that bed jacket so much. I got these colors because I thought I can make something really nice with these yarns for her. What I was thinking of is My mom's not really into wearing like, you know, hats and all that kind of stuff, but it does get chilly around here. I wish we got more snow in the winter and stuff, but we've had a pretty cool fall, but we hardly ever get snow around here. And when we do, it's just like a big event. Everybody just loves it, and we love it especially. Like, my mom loves snow so much that there was one time, you know how I do, you know, excessive things. They had this tapestry thing. I guess you're supposed to use it as like a background for a picture or whatever. And they had this tapestry. It looked like a window, and through the window you can see like a snow scene. And I put it over the window in there to give my mom like a white Christmas or whatever. And so it's still hanging in there. I think you can see a glimpse of it in the picture where she's wearing her bed jacket. Is like, you know, behind her. You can see a little glimpse of it in one of my videos. I'll put a shot of it in this video if you want to see it. So we do get a little bit of snow around here, but like, it seems to be so rare that, like, you know, it makes me want to, like, you know, buy stuff like that to give my mom snow or whatever to look at, because we just don't get it around here very often. So she doesn't really wear like a lot of hats or anything, but when it does get cold, she does put a hat on her head. So it might be kind of nice to make her a hat out of this. And what I thought I would do is to make it like extra fluffy and extra warm or whatever. I have that that eyelash yarn from Hobby Lobby that the ones that, it's all the way over there. I don't know. I have to crawl my big ass over there just to get no, the ones that I have some of the colorways that are like oat, and I'd gotten a blue, like a light blue, and I feel like it'll match this if I mix it in there. I thought I can mix that eyelash yarn that's the light blue in with this to make her a hat, or even like a scarf or something, or I don't know, but I want to make her like a hat and a scarf set with like these two. If I could, maybe I can like alternate between them, because I don't think this is going to be enough to make like a hat and a scarf you know, per skein. I think I'm gonna have to use both of them for a hat and a scarf set. But I don't know, and maybe like some fingerless gloves, or I don't know how much of this will stretch to make that. But if I mix in that blue to make like either the scarf, I don't know if that's gonna be enough to make the a scarf, unless I use the eyelash yarn on like the edges of it, which I might do. But I think that blue will mix nicely with this. So I might make my mom something with this, like a scarf or a hat or something like that, because it does remind me of like the Premier Bloom Chunky Big colorways that I used for her bed jacket, which she loved. So that's why I got these two. Of course, they had other colors, but these are the only ones that I got. So I did get those. And then while I was in Ollie's, I've said in previous videos, and you can see the big obnoxious things in my thumbnails or whatever, but I've said that in Ollie's they have a section of like posters and stuff. A lot of them are like superhero kind of posters, but some of them I've gotten some Harry Potter ones in there. And but they had one that was they had another Harry Potter one. They've kept that really stocked up, those posters and stuff. They must have gotten a whole bunch of those in. But I did get another one. These are $18. But I love Harry Potter so much. And this was the very first movie poster, and so I mean it's just gorgeous, and like I'm getting so many Harry Potter posters, like, and I have so much Harry Potter stuff. I don't even know if I have room for this, because I know where the other one that I got is going to go, but like I don't know where this is going to go. But yeah, but I'm going to like organize my Harry Potter stuff. But I mean it's really cool. I mean, and just really nice, significant, one of those canvas posters. And see, the regular price for this was $40, and I got it for $18. So really nice Harry Potter poster. And then I was looking in like just the regular posters that have like the piece of cardboard in it that you can where you can take the poster out and you can roll it up, like one of those kind of posters that are cheaper. And they had another Beatles poster in there as one of those big posters, not like one of those small ones. And I got it from my mom. And it's like the Let It Be album cover, and this poster was only $7, and so that's gonna go with her Beatles stuff. I mean, this huge poster, I couldn't believe that they had a Beatles poster in there. So I did get those, and so this is why I spent $80 in there that day, because I got those posters too. And then I got this. They had a Harry Potter book set, and this was $20. But this is so nice. And one thing I'll say, just to make this a little bit about crochet, is in one of these books there's a section in there about all the scarves and sweaters that Mrs. Weasley made, and they had like an on-set knitter that was making all that stuff. And so that was really fascinating. I was just kind of thumbing through these books, and I came across that, and I thought that's kind of cool. And I get to mention this in a crochet video because it has something to do with crocheting and knitting and yarn, but whatever. And so it's just a big box set thing. Like I've said, Ollie's has wonderful books. I mean, we do have a bookstore around here, but it's a little disappointing going there. It's kind of a small bookstore. I remember the big bookstores growing up, and I feel like I'm really old just saying this. When my day, they had the big old bookstore, and you could go in there to hundreds of... I feel like getting old. But I used to love going to the bookstore in our mall. And that's another thing. We used to have a big mall. But whatever. And so I miss the days of like having a really big bookstore to go into. But it's almost like the section of Ollie's is... it's weird. The book section in my Ollie's almost, I would bet you that it has more books than my local bookstore has. I mean, they can order books for you there at that bookstore, but still, the section at my Ollie's, there's just tons of books and really nice books. I bought my mom so many Beatles books at Ollie's before. I mean, there's a huge shelf. It's like she has nothing but Beatles books there, and just tons of them, really nice books, and not like old looking or just like a bunch of paperback, like really big, like thick coffee table hardcover books and stuff, like really nice books for cheap, good stuff cheap, that Ollie's thing. But they had this in there, this really nice box set of like it's from the films of Harry Potter and Fantastic Beasts, a movie scrapbook and or movie scrapbooks, and it's an 8-book collection. It has all these like paperback books and these like scrapbooks, and they have they're those books that where they have some things you can pull out of the books and all these little things in it, and each one is themed differently, and I'll try to find that section about the... I should have had a little tab in here, but there's this page in here about the sweaters and all that kind of stuff that the knitting in the Harry Potter movies, and it says the costume department kept a dedicated knitter on hand for all 8 films to produce Molly Weasley's sweaters and scarves. I mean, I just thought that was really fascinating, and but it was like a joke in the movies or whatever. Oh God, she made another sweater or a vest or like whatever. But it is really cool to know that somebody was like hand knitting all those sweaters and stuff and the scarves and everything. But I just thought that was really cool to find out in these books. I thought it was just going to be like a total tangent in a video talking about these Harry Potter books or whatever. And I thought, oh my God, there's this whole section about like the knitted sweaters and scarves and stuff in the movies. It's like really cool. So really interesting stuff. And like, see, it's one of those books where they have like things that you can pull out of it and like all these extra fold out things. And I love books like this and all these like little mini books and just... I love this. This was worth $20. What was the regular price for this? Wait, what? The regular price, $125. That was a way better deal than I ever thought it was. $125 for that. God, so that was a really good deal. Deal finder. No, I can't believe that. I wouldn't have spent that on this set. As nice as this is, I'm still cheap. I mean, I love Harry Potter and I love Lucy and even Beatles and even Wednesday from my niece, but like I would never spend that on something like this because I'm cheap as hell. But it was worth it for $20. Hell, if this was more than $20, I might have spent even more on that, knowing how nice this is. But really nice. But so that was all the stuff from Ollie's. And then I went to Michael's and looking for the Karen Smash Cakes. Of course, they didn't have any. They didn't have the other one. Whatever. And so, but they did have more of their Christmas ornaments, and I love that they have these Pride ornaments. See, that's one of the great things about Michael's, that they actually do carry Pride stuff, and I do like to support them for even carrying this stuff, especially now with what's going on in the world. But they had this one, and it's a snowflake, and it says "Love Wins," with the rainbow colors on it, which is gorgeous. It's one of these like nice. They do have some that are kind of rainbow, but I don't think they're Pride related. There's some of them. One of them has like this mustache. It's rainbow, and I just thought that's kind of weird. And then they have one that it's just like a rainbow, but it's just sort of generic. But these are just like unapologetically Pride ornaments. They're not just like generic rainbow stuff. And so I did want to get that. And then this one is the flag, the Pride flag, and really nice metal. Really gorgeous metal ornaments and stuff. And so, and these were $7.63. And they were on sale for some reason. So, I don't know why. I guess that their Christmas stuff was on sale like it is at Hobby Lobby all the time. But it says you saved $4.80. So they were a regular price $5.99 each. So they were on sale, so that was a plus. I would have bought them full price, though, just for them even carrying these in the first place. So they do have nice stuff. I just, Wish I had more yarn, or like the yarn that I want. But anyway, so that was like a Michael's thing. And then I went to Goodwill, and my mom found this mug. It says, "I must be old, even my mug has wrinkles." And I thought that was really funny. She thought it was funny too. And so she got this. And what's weird is the shape of this mug. It reminds me of a mug that I have, because the first time I was on YouTube, I did this. It wasn't like a short, but it was like this short video where I went into my cabinet in the kitchen, and I like opened it up like as if I was looking for a cup to drink out of. And because I have so many like fandom related mugs or whatever, it sort of became this funny joke that like, oh, I opened it up and I have so many mugs and stuff with all these different characters and stuff all over it. I don't know which one to pick, and so it's sort of like this funny joking video that nobody watched. Literally nobody watched. Nobody clicked on it. It had 0 views. But I thought it was funny. It was just like this short video or whatever. But it was supposed to be like this like fandom collectors drink dilemma or like whatever. It's probably a bad title or whatever, but I thought it was like a funny idea for a video to have all of my mugs. I took them all off of my shelves and out of the boxes and stuff. I put them in my cabinet in the kitchen, and I had the camera like inside the cabinet or whatever, and I like opened it up, as if I was like reaching for a mug, and I didn't really know which one to pick because I had so many freaking mugs in there, and then I just like then I gave up and whatever. So it'd just be like this funny joke. But I do have a mug that is the same shape except it's smaller, and it has Ren on it from Ren and Stimpy, and this is what it looks like. It's funny. I think I found this at Goodwill or whatever. Of course, I love like 90s nostalgia, and I collect stuff like that. And of course, I used to watch Ren and Stimpy. My favorite cartoons from Nickelodeon when I was growing up was Doug and Rugrats and stuff. But I did watch Ren and Stimpy too. Oh, there are so many like. Watching this now, you think, God, I cannot believe I watched that when I was a kid. There's some really like warped stuff in Ren and Stimpy, and Rocko's Modern Life too. Like it's hilarious. But it just says "back off, man." How Ren was always just like exactly like one of those dogs that he was. But so it was funny that like my mom found this mug, and then like the mug is almost the exact same shape as the one that has Ren on it. So but that's one thing that we got there. I think it was like $2. Their mugs used to be like 99 cents or whatever, but they put $2 on this stuff. But it was worth it for my mom. I'm just being cheap or whatever. You know how I am. And then they had this pillow, and I got it from my niece, and it'll probably go in her playroom somewhere. But it's a big M, and it has that like sequins on it, like those kind of sequins that they have now, where like on the cube on her shelf, where you can like flip them backwards, and you can kind of like make designs in it or whatever, or like change the color. And so they had this like big M pillow. And I mean, it's really gorgeous. And so, like, the back is sort of like those unicorn colors, like I've talked about. She loves unicorns, and she loves, like, unicorn swirl ice cream and all the unicorn colors. And then on this side is, like, the sequins that you can do like this and change the color and stuff. It's really pretty. I think this was only $2. Yeah, $2 for this pillow, so it's really nice, and she'll love this pillow in her playroom. So I found that, and then this was like I didn't even know that this existed, but I've said like I think I've probably said it more in the comments or whatever, but like I've realized through these videos that how much I love the color teal, and thinking about like when I was growing up, my room was decorated with all kinds of teal knickknacks and stuff. I mean like decorated, because like I used to watch Trading Spaces, and while you were out, there was these decorating shows on TLC. I never really watched like those other home channels and home decorating shows. It was always like I would watch TLC and watch Trading Spaces and While You Were Out. I love those two shows, and so. Like when I went to Europe, I took some money with me, and then I had some money left when I came back from Europe. And I thought, because I love Trading Spaces and the whole idea of like decorating my room and all that kind of stuff, I had this money left from my trip to Europe that my aunt took me on after high school. And I'll talk about that on my website. It was a really fun experience. I got to tour the Mediterranean for 2 weeks, and it was just like really fun. But I had some money left over, and so because I love Trading Spaces and While You Were Out and the whole idea of decorating my room and all this kind of stuff, I had all this money left, and so I went into like Big Lots or wherever the hell it was, and I bought like a bunch of like knickknacks and stuff. It was ridiculous. Like most guys my age were buying like footballs and basketballs and games and video games or like whatever. And I was like buying knickknacks and stuff, like vases, and like it was ridiculous. And I do have some pictures of it if you want to see some of that stuff. But I did like accessorize my room with all this like teal teal stuff like everywhere, and I did love teal back then, and so so it shouldn't have shocked me to realize how much I liked teal yarn and the color teal, because I should have remembered how my room was when I was growing up. But whatever, it was just ridiculous. But I did love Trading Spaces and While You Were Out. I just love those shows and so much, and so I even have some of the DVDs of Trading Spaces, the few that they have out. But anyway, I was looking through Goodwill, and they had a Trading Spaces board game. Like, I didn't know this existed. Like, where the hell was I? Like, I could not believe this existed. I don't know if this is going to be any fun, or I haven't really looked into it. I did look into it enough to see that all the pieces were there, thankfully. But I just couldn't believe that they had like a Trading Spaces game, that even existed. But whatever. I mean, it's in really good shape and stuff, and it was $2.99 at Goodwill. But I just couldn't believe that existed. It was so cool. And but I just loved Trading Spaces or whatever. And but you know, to the point of me, you know, decorating my room, like as if Paige Davis was gonna, you know, swirl in there, her perky ass, you know, through there with a camera crew to, you know, compliment my decor. I don't know, but I loved all those decorating shows and stuff. But and so seeing that just kind of, you know, brought back memories of like me growing up and watching all those shows, and, you know, spending all that money on all that teal stuff to decorate my room with. Oh, and then I forgot to say that when I was in Michael's and I found those pride ornaments, or one of those times, I do go into there. I don't go in there every single time I go to Hobby Lobby, but sometimes if I, you know, go into Hobby Lobby and they don't have anything, I think, well, maybe I'll pop into Michael's and maybe they'll at least have something. I don't know. But still, I still feel kind of like, you know, like they're not going to have anything, but I still go in there just in the hopes of like finding something. But one of the times I went into Michael's, and I put it in that short too, but they had some yarn on clearance, and I didn't get it, even though there was, speaking of teal, they had a really pretty teal skein of it. It was called Heathered Tweed, and it's from Loops and Threads, and like every single one of them was clearanced, and they were only $5 a skein, which, I mean, it was a lot for me. If I'm bitching about the granny square yarn as big as it is for $5, I mean, that was a lot for that yarn. But the reason why I didn't get any of it is because, you know, I have OCD and my hands are, you know, dry all the time from, you know, compulsively washing them all the time. And then, you know, also we're going through fall and winter and stuff, and my hands, you know, get all cracked and just awful because I try to stay hydrated, but when you wash your hands 40 times a day, I'm exaggerating, but not by much. But when you wash your hands so much, you know, no matter how much cream you put on, you end up washing it off, and I still get dry, cracked hands and stuff. But anyway, when I felt those Heathered Tweed skeins, it had such a hairy halo on it that it was like starting to like stick to my hands. Like that the Skyscape from Loops and Threads that I had gotten, it sort of does that, but not as much as that Heathered Tweed did. And I looked in the specs of the Heathered Tweed, and it does have wool in it, and every single time I touch a skein of wool, I mean, it's almost like I'm touching something, and it's like spider webs or like, you know, cobwebs or something. It sort of feels like that, like it's, you know, stuck to my hands that much. It didn't seem like I would enjoy working with that yarn, even though that teal was very tempting. I was very tempted to buy that teal yarn, but I didn't. But they did have that clearance, and that's why I mentioned it in that short, because by the time this video comes out, all that's probably going to be gone. But then they also had some of the Wool Ease, another yarn that I can't touch. I just don't like the feel of it. But I think that's, you know, probably a whole lot more wool than that Heathered Tweed was. And but they had a whole bunch of that clearance too. I think those were $6. But I did take video of it, and I put it in that short, but I'll put it in this video too. But that was just like a total random thing. And then the only other thing I'll talk about is I got 2 more super thanks. I just can't believe it. Jody Belton 625 again, and Vicky 3232 again. I can't believe it. You all are just like so incredible, and I mean, I just filmed, as I'm filming this video, I just filmed the video where I had reached 1,000 subscribers, and which I'm going to insert. I'm going to insert that video before a lot of the other videos that I've already filmed, and because I wanted to put that video out, but I just got done filming that video that I'm going to post in a couple days, and so to, like, you know, reach this big milestone, you know, 1,000 subscribers and all this stuff, and then for, like, it's one thing to get the ad revenue from YouTube, which is really cool. I've jokingly said when I do my EG stitch tutorial that I at least want to get the 11 cents from the ad revenue. I've gotten more than 11 cents, so that's really cool. I mean, it's not enough to retire on, unless I only live like one more day, then maybe. No, but it's really cool to like, you know, get that ad revenue. But it's another thing to like get money directly from subscribers. I mean, that's just like, it's especially with the economy and stuff, the way the world is right now. I mean, it's one thing to take money from, you know, from Google and YouTube and stuff, like, you know, take that money that they give me from the ad revenue, but like for, you know, you all to, you know, with what's going on in the world, and to take your own money and like give it to me, I'm just so grateful and appreciative and stuff, and I just can't believe it. But that's why I want to, you know, shout them out, because, you know, they do it like that's the second time they've both done it. I just can't believe it. So you all, I'm not saying this to like encourage you to give me more super thanks, because I am going to be getting ad revenue from YouTube now. So, you know, hopefully that will, you know, increase the more videos I do, and the more views and stuff I get and all that kind of stuff. But so just know that I don't expect anybody else to give me any more super thanks. But just also know that if you do, just like, you know, Jody Belton 625 and Vicky 3232 did, I just want you to know that like if you do, I appreciate it so much, and that's why I wanted to shout them out. And then I was also thinking, because I just couldn't believe it. I'm blown away that like people would give me their own money. It's just it's crazy to me. With nothing really in return other than like my ridiculous dumbass video. God, it's just all over the place and scatterbrained mess or whatever. And you're like, here's some money. Like I'll never get over it. It's just, it blows my mind. But when I made Vicky 3232, her V, which now she needs two. No, when I made that, I said that I was only going to do that because it was not only the first time I got money from YouTube, I got it like directly from a subscriber, and so I wanted to make that V for her, and I didn't want it to become a thing where I make it for. This is so stupid. I have this pillow here, and I'm literally doing like this, like I'm petting it like a freaking cat. God, I'm so fidgety. I guess the OCD thing, but I was literally petting it. I was like, what the hell am I doing? It's so stupid. But anyway, but I said when I made that V for Vicky, that I didn't want to do that for every single person. Not that I anticipated getting anymore, but that I didn't want to make that for every single person that gives me a super thanks, because I didn't want it to get to the point where, like, what if my channel does, you know, get into the thousands of subscribers, and I start to get like, you know, a couple dozen super thanks, and then I'm thinking, you know, what if I miss one? Because like my comments and stuff are manageable at this point, and you know, I read every single one of them and respond to the point of being ridiculous, you know, big huge comment. But it's manageable at this point. But like, what if it gets to the point where I get, you know, like 4 or 5 super thanks from a video, and then there's so many comments that I miss one, and then I get to the point where I forget, you know, somebody's initial, and then somebody feels left out, and they say like, well, you made an initial for the other, you know, 20 people that gave you a super thanks or whatever. Why didn't you make my, you know, D for me? Or like, you know what I'm saying? So I didn't want it to get to the point where I upset somebody by missing it, you know, in the stream of all the comments or whatever, and you give me a super thanks and I miss it, and I don't make a little initial for you. So I just wanted to do that for one person. But then I thought, since I was talking about the whole like 1,000 subscribers video. I have these sitting here. Anyway, you know, these 1K things that I made for the 1,000 subscribers video, and the big ones like this. As I was making these, and I got the super thanks or whatever, I thought, because what I did was I chained, I used it, I love this yarn, candy stick stash yarn. I just made a big long chain and hot glued it to these big, you know, letters and numbers. And as I was doing it, I was thinking, I could that's probably manageable for me to do like a chain to like represent every one of the super thanks. And so I don't know if I may use one of those rings, or I may, you know, make something to kind of hang here or somewhere in this room, or I don't know, but I thought maybe I could do that where I can like make some little chains where it'll be easy enough for me to manage it without having to like make, you know, individual letters and stuff for the people and all that. You know, if it was an E, like for, you know, EG, or then I would put like, you know, a 5, like I would chain 5 and have a little tiny chain there, and then I could hang all the little chains of like, you know, make the, you know, go through the alphabet until I get to V for Vicky, or, you know, go through the alphabet, you know, get to the J for Jody, and all that, and just have like the all these chains hanging off, and each one, it would just be like this this, you know, abstract thing where it's not like all these letters and stuff. It would just be all these chains that, you know, like represented all of the super thanks or whatever. It could be something kind of manageable for me that I can, oh, I got a super thanks and I can like quickly do a chain to add to the little hanging or whatever I'm going to make out of all the little chains to represent all the super thanks and stuff. And now I'm thinking like, you know, some kind of like moldable plastic ST kind of thing. Now this is going through my head, because I do need to show the moldable plastic in some video in the future, but make like some kind of thing that sort of like how I was going to make that thing to represent all the subscribers. Make something that, because how many super thanks am I going to get? And I swear I'm not, you know, having that attitude, you know, like, oh, how many more am I going to get? You know, hoping that you would give me some. I'm just saying. But maybe I could take some of that moldable plastic and make like a little, you know, ST, or like a little abstract ST or something like that, and hang the little chains off of it, or use one of those rings or something. I don't know. I'm going to do something to represent the super thanks. The very few that I'm going to get, please don't give me any if you don't have the money, because I am making a little bit of money from the ad revenue. So don't feel like you have to give me any of your money. Like if you're in the store and you think, oh, I'd like to give him a super thanks, but oh man, that yarn looks nice. It's like, no. Just get the yarn. Like I would rather you like spend your money on yourself, buying you some yarn, buying you know, a new crochet hook, get a pattern or whatever. I would rather you spend the money on yourself or whatever, instead of just like giving me your money for, you know, my ridiculous videos. God, as much as I appreciate it or whatever, I just don't know if I deserve like money directly from you for my ridiculous videos. I mean, I would love it if you would buy some of my stuff, but like if it's in the future where you know, give me money and then oh, here's your bookmark that you just bought, or this hat that I crocheted, or like a book that I wrote, or I would feel better about that than you just giving me money directly just for this mess. I don't know. I just feel like such a messy person and just like all over the place and just ridiculous or whatever. But I just don't know if I'll ever be able to accept, like, you know, super thanks. I mean, as much as I appreciate it, it's just weird to me. I mean, I thank you so much for it. It's just I just don't feel like I deserve it. But anyway, I guess it's gonna be all for this video. This, you know, God, I was like all over the place talking about Ren and Stimpy or whatever, and trading spaces, and, you know, God, stupid. Anyway, God, I'm just so ridiculous. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video, whatever the hell this is going to look like after editing. And so I hope you enjoyed this video. Like and subscribe, comment down below, and I'll see you in the next one.